What's up, YouTube? What we're going to be talking about today is Ivern Support. Now, I don't do a lot of videos on Ivern Support, but I have a shit ton of Ivern knowledge. If you are joining us and you want to figure out who the heck is this Borax guy, for you YouTube frogs, I'm going to pull it up real quick here onto the stream. 684 subs and counting, up and coming YouTuber, reached out to me very professionally. A business email, you might suggest. Chat, if you're not Challenger, you gotta have homegrown content. You gotta have good ideas. You gotta have creativity, editing skills, humor, something other than gameplay, something other than no personality at all, no lifing a game for 20 hours a day, not having a job. And you know what? Borax the Mighty has just that. Now, let's go through this video, a little react Andy here, see what Borax the Mighty thinks about Ivern Support, and we'll critique his gameplay, of course, because it is probably terrible.
Now, where did I put that Ivern Support video? Ah, there it is.
Oh my god, the masking, the transition.
Product I use is really jank.
Oh
Hello,
my
everyone. My name is
goodness.
Borax, and today we'll be looking at Ivern, the Green Father, and rate how good he is as a support.
My favorite color is
Early game. Okay, let's get into the early
Ivern
game.
is quite good at invading if your team is committed to it. If you can land your Q, then your entire team can jump towards that target and you can finish them off.
Correct.
For invading, I will give Ivern a S-.
Oh, the flash Q,
It's
love
really
it.
Good, but still not as strong as those hook champions.
Against
and
a
it is only
good
single
person
targets
that
in
never
C.
works, but
I
love
will
it.
say, though, that he's
was
especially good
AFK
with
probably.
melee
Yeah.
characters. And I would highly recommend picking him if the rest of your team has a lot of melees, because your Q enables them to get into scraps faster. I like to
Correct.
judge the
Scap
overall lane
close.
phase based on 3 categories: poking, peeling, and all inning. For poking, Ivern is not the best, but better.
Okay, wait, we have to talk about invading for a sec. Chat, there's something you can do on Ivern, which is there is a bunch of Challenger Ivern support players who run Smite on Ivern, okay? So what you do is you take Smite, you grab the Hail Blade because you need to get the extra bonus XP to get level 2. You're going to sack your first wave, go to the opposite side buff, steal it, and then run bot lane. You'll be level 2. And you'll have your shield and your Q or whatever. And then when you go back to base, sell your Hail Blade and buy the support item. So there's a lot of Challenger Ivern players that will do that tactic. Another way to do it is with the what's it called? I'm drawing a blank. It's with Unsealed Spellbook. You can do the exact same thing, right? With Unsealed Spellbook. So there's a lot of really good Ivern support strategies, and Ivern top, to be fair, that revolve around taking Smite. Now, if you're a newer Ivern player, I don't necessarily recommend that, but it is a very common thing, particularly with invading. Anytime you see the enemy jungler on the top side of the map, you can just walk in, take his Krugs, take the Scuttle Crab, whatever, and put him as far behind as possible from the support role. The downside is, and why you need to be pretty proficient with Ivern, is you lose out on a combat summoner.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about, because people were recommending that to me in like
Right.
my comments. I'm like, it's like good to mess up the jungler, but then like your lane is even like harder to play a little bit.
Right, the lane is harder to play, but in a lane like this, you're not going to want to do a whole lot until you have Daisy.
Also true. Also true.
And so by that time, the difference in combat summoner shouldn't matter as much.
That's a good point. Yeah.
With Ivern, you're trying to set up your jungler for success. You're trying to set up you're trying to peel your AD and provide your melee jungler like Viego, for example, with an easy gap close to gank bot lane. You're not trying to 2v2
True.
before 6. You're trying to poke with bush autos, and you're trying to just peel them off of your AD to farm. Farm till 6, call your jungler, and in that scenario, the lack of combat summoner doesn't matter as much.
True.
Chat says they play lethality mid Ivern.
I saw that. Respect.
No, chat. No, chat. You don't do that. You're not allowed to do
That's
that.
400 subs, right?
Chat. You're no. I would rather cry. I'll go and cry instead.
All
More than
right, fair.
expected.
All right, let's go.
Ivern is a ranged champion, which gives him the possibility to go for Airy and Spell Thieves, which will complement your empowered autos quite nicely once you've leveled up W and
True.
get that extra damage from being in
Chat, notice how he was scared to auto there because he didn't want to jump? He doesn't know the tech, chat. He doesn't know the
the
tech.
bush. You can also root people in place with a very far away Q so that your ADC can get some poke off and might even be able to get a crazy kill.
Really
For
nice.
poking, I will give Ivern a C+ rating.
Your AD's
It's very
trolling?
okay,
Oh,
and that's
never
really
mind.
the best
Their
thing I can
support's
say
trolling?
about it. You know what's
Everyone in
lucky
that
about
lane
this
was just
occasion?
trolling?
Ivern's
Yeah.
ability to peel. Not only is your
Poking C+? Wait. C+?
Yeah. I feel
What
like
is this?
because his Q, W, and E, like they don't do that much damage.
No!
In the support role.
What are you
And-
talking about?
And I feel like his autos don't do that much damage
You
unless
have
you're
this-
maxing like.
You have the strongest autos in the game at with your W and power. Come on. No.
Okay,
Your
maybe,
whole
maybe it could be
poking is
higher.
great. You can shield yourself so you don't take any return damage, and then
True.
you stand in the bush. You get off 2 W empowered autos with your AP scaling on your spell thieves, and then you just peace out. It's really good. It's really good.
No, I definitely can see that.
Plus a summon Airy prog, or if you're like a Korean, you can run Hail of Blades and get 3 autos in. It's
True,
good.
true.
It's good. This C+ rating,
It's a
troll.
shield on a low cooldown, but it has the added benefit where it can slow enemies who are nearby once it gets popped. Then you also have your root, which can stop enemies from going in, which only gets better if you run Glacial like I ended up doing
Nice.
a couple of games.
Good play.
Finally, you have your ultimate, which I think people
Halo
honestly
boners?
underestimate just how useful it is, especially early. You whip out Daisy, and then she will start brawling the enemies down, block random skill shots, and CC them every third
Oh,
auto
Daisy's
attack.
hanging out. Daisy, go do something.
Another champion in the fight, and considering the
chilling.
fact that you can make a 2v2 play into a 2v almost 3, I have to give Ivern an S+ rating for his ability to
Chat, he said 2v almost 3, but he doesn't realize Daisy's better than Ivern. So it's
I
actually
actually-
a
no, I
fucking 3v2, but in the
I
other
actually
way.
believe Daisy is better than Ivern, but I don't think Ivern counts as a full champion.
Yeah, that's fair. That's the fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right, 2v almost 3 it is, but Daisy's one of
Because
the
of Ivern,
champs.
not because of Daisy.
peel.
True.
Now, Ivern doesn't
At level 6, you have kill pressure with Daisy. Very good. Very good to note. If you're running Unsealed Spellbook and you can get Ignite around level 6, it's really, really good. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend you taking Ignite in the bot lane because your first 5 levels are very susceptible to being all in, especially into engaged supports. Very scary. Very scary. I wouldn't take Ignite personally.
really like violence, but when the enemy keeps picking all of these new champions, he doesn't really have a choice. If you can land your Q, either normally or with flash, then everyone can join in the fun. And I'm talking about your jungler, your ADC, and even Daisy, and they will start wailing.
Go,
on you.
Daisy!
Q is a decent amount of CC, but a bit tricky to hit. I compare it a lot like
Nice.
a Thresh Hook. It's long distance, but kind of slow moving, but very impactful if you hit it.
Thresh Hook
For
way
all
easier to
hitting, I
hit.
will give Ivern a B+
True.
rating. Pre-level 6, you kind of want to chill unless you're getting jungle pressure, as Ivern is a scaling pick.
Chat, every clip
But
is a
once you
flash
hit
engage.
level
Let's
6
go.
and the enemy makes a mistake,
This guy's
Ivern
hypey as
packs a
fuck.
pretty formidable punch with Daisy's damage, your E shields damage, and his autos from bushes, so I won't rate him any lower.
Wait,
Now
are you
let's
the
talk about
jungler in this
Ivern's
clip? Who's the jungler in this clip?
I don't know.
Wait, you don't have Smite though. Is Samira the jungler?
Yeah, I actually have no idea. Wait, hold on, we can figure this out.
Why do you have?
I have no idea.
Wait,
maybe it's Seraphine Jungle. 'cause she has red
Seraphine
buff.
jungle? Well, the point still stands that Ivern sets up the jungler pretty well, but
Yeah.
because it like feels
Maybe
like
not
a
as
four,
Seraphine.
feels like a 4v2. Why the fuck is there a Seraphine jungle? Get the hell out of here!
Daisy's damage, your E shields
Chat, turn
damage,
away.
and
Turn
his
away from
autos
this clip.
bushes, so I won't
This
rate
clip
him
is
any lower.
cursed.
Now that we know about
Wait.
Ivern's laning prowess,
Oh no,
let's talk
okay.
about the matchups
It was a
that we might have to
Viego who
face.
became
If you
Seraphine.
follow this channel, then you know I just.
Oh, that
I would
makes
say
more
that she's the
sense.
League of
Okay,
Legends
I'm
equivalent
dumb.
of starting a
But yeah,
war in
Viego,
the
Ivern's
era.
great combo.
She can be quite tricky to deal with, as her black shield blocks a lot of your magic damage and CC, and her root is so long that if she
Damn,
hits you with it,
Ezreal
you're in a
doesn't
lot of
eat
danger.
your stun.
Ivern isn't the squishiest, but he isn't by no means tanky and struggles a bit against poke. Lux is another champion that is
Okay,
very
I
difficult
should
to
be
deal
listening
with,
more. I
as she
should be
can
listening
harass
more.
you and your ADC from range without fear of too many consequences.
Okay, makes me cry. Is that what that says?
Yeah.
Okay, Morgana 100% makes me cry. I think you're we'll see who else you have here, but there's a few I would put in the makes me cry as well.
Other matchups that are a bit more manageable but very annoying include more poke champions that will harass you more than your shielding will be able to nullify. Then the very strong
Play
engage
safe or
champions can
die.
be very scary to play against, as if they hit you with their CC, they do have the potential of blowing up either you or your ADC, so you need to play safe.
All right, here's what I would say. Play safe or die applies to Xerath, Brand, Vel'Koz, Zyra, Karma, Senna. No, and Thresh, probably. What I would say with these other 4 here, if they want to engage on you, you don't have a choice. So
True.
playing safe or die doesn't really apply, especially Nautilus and Leona. Nautilus and Leona are in Makes Me Cry. Lux should be moved down to play safe or die.
That's fair.
That would
The
be
only thing I'll
my
say
critique.
is once you get Daisy, she actually feels like pretty good against like Leona, Nautilus, and like Blitz.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Once you get Daisy, it's pretty good against everything in the whole game. So
Yeah, but like even if you have Daisy, it still like sucks to play against the poke champs.
no. The
because
problem is these 2 champions kill you level
Yeah.
2,
that is fair.
level 3. If they kill you level 2, they're gonna kill you level 4. Then they're gonna
Yeah.
kill you level 5, and you're gonna
And
be
6.
0-3, and then they're gonna get ults and kill you again.
No, that's fair. Those you have to like just hide under. Yeah, they're probably a little too hard.
Getting behind in the bot lane is suicide note. So that's what I would
Yeah.
say. These 2 are very scary.
But once you have level 6, Daisy does do a great job in fighting back against these engagers.
Ivern's quite
Some
good
lanes that
into
hero
enchanters,
options
I would
still
say.
meaty are all the enchanters that will want to poke you, but if they don't respect your Q, they will end up dying if you can hit it.
Yeah,
But
this
at the same
is
time,
nice.
they
This
kind of
is
just
good.
Ignore your poke right back. Some lanes I think you
I
can
agree
do
with
really well
this.
into include Yuumi and Zillion, who don't have the most peel against both Ivern and Daisy as a tandem, so you can actually get on top of them.
Oh, I think Braum, you should move up to play safe or die also.
That's fair. I just haven't played against a good Braum in a long time, so
Braum is a bit nutty.
yeah.
All of these champs, you can clap these cheeks, but in the bot lane, a lot of these matchups are 50-50, man.
That's fair.
Like a Yuumi Zillion, a Bard, that lane can go bad very quickly, or it can go good very quickly, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit about these are kind of skill matchups. Ivern is not supposed to be a support, so he doesn't have a passive, right?
Yeah.
So when you don't have a passive, you don't really get a good matchup. I would say Tarek's probably the easiest matchup out of everyone on this list. Maybe Soraka, but even Soraka can be annoying. So I'd probably put Tarek as the easiest here. The thing is, Ivern before 6 is very difficult to execute. So
True.
So you mostly play to invade, play to steal camps, and play to farm, right?
Then we have a lot of the beefy supports that you will actually be able to outpoke, and you can outrange their engage for the most part. Some champions that will learn what a true power bottom looks like includes Renata, as you will be keeping low targets alive for much longer than she would like because of your massive shielding, and the entire time Daisy will be wailing on them in the lane, and I found it to be a very enjoyable experience. Sona also belongs here, because if you ever land a Q, she's probably going to die, and Ivern also gets a shout out because if you're in a normal blind and the enemy is playing Ivern, he's probably trolling and you can get that free win. Finally, we have a bunch of champions in the who plays these guys even tier, because it's been a hot minute since I've seen them.
Wait, check, come on, this guy doesn't play ranked, I guess.
No, I do, and it's funny. I play a lot of the champions.
This guy doesn't understand. Okay, here's the
I've played against more Pantheons recently.
Pantheon
I'll say that
is in the make me cry rating. Okay,
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
A Mumu support is very good.
I love a Mumu support, but no one plays it.
Maokai and Gragas, you want them to pick those two. They're ass.
True.
Shen is an easy matchup for you. Tom Kench is a fine matchup. Now, you have Rel.
Doesn't exist.
In
Don't
who-
even try to justify that.
In who even plays these guys, okay? But Rel is the one champion you don't want to see, okay? The reason for
Why is
that
that?
is Rel can break shields with her abilities.
Oh, you're right.
So Rel is like the ultimate counter to Ivern. Has
And maybe
really
like Renekton's support.
has really good engage and can break your shield. So that's the spooky part.
And I think Ivern wouldn't do too bad.
My man says someone's trolling, but he snuck the phrase power bottom into his video.
I was laughing at that.
I can't believe you wrote power
Into
bottom.
them.
I didn't even notice
Valentine,
it.
Of course, who would love the extra bushes you've set up for him. Now let's talk about ADCs that you want to pair Ivern with. One of the most fun and interesting bot lane combos is Rengar, as you can just plop bushes in areas he wants to jump from, and it's a lot of fun to play.
That's true. It's an OP matchup. It's really, really good.
That guy was terrible, I'll say.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Ivern is a good.
Especially if you have your own duo who plays Rengar.
Yep.
It's really, really powerful, easy to snowball lane. There's a duo in the Ivern Mains Discord who played it all the way to Masters.
Respect.
And it's really, really good.
Pairing there. Actual ADCs that are.
That's the one case you can take Ignite.
If you hit your root, they can.
Yeah.
Because the only time you're trying to do is snowball.
Which is why Varus is also here. Samira is nice because she's a bit low range and can utilize your Q route to jump in and stay on top of people with the slow from E.
Jhin, amazing. Really, really good.
And if you can use Daisy
Samira, really nice.
More easily, that's amazing
Yeah,
too.
Varus is
Some
whatever.
ADCs I can imagine would be great with Ivern.
The nice thing about Varus is that he's long range, so you can just both AFK.
People, and your kit is great at enabling.
Yeah, but
I think there are no ADCs.
does that mean it's good?
Could all be playable, but there's nothing.
Okay.
You get like Ivern later on,
Okay,
which I think isn't bad.
you need to make distinctions here, okay? This is sus. This is sus. If you pick Ivern in Twitch, you're asking to get fucking rolled. Okay?
True.
You cannot play this. You cannot play Ivern and Ezreal. You're gonna get rolled. Okay? You can't play those champs.
My argument for playing with Ezreal is then you could go the Smite Ivern, right?
Or you
And
can
you can just
cry
leave them in
and your
lane.
Ezreal will stand under tower all game and do fucking nothing. Don't
Yeah, well,
even consider it. Don't even consider it. Don't even think about it. Don't even. If you play Ivern and Aphelios, you're going to get so slammed until level 6 that it's not even worth existing in the game, okay? Vayne is an excellent pairing with Ivern. It can set up her E. Kog'Maw is just really strong right now. Has really nothing to do with Ivern. Kog'Maw is either just in the meta or not in the meta. Enchanter plus Kog'Maw is either stupid, broken, or useless. So that's just meta dependent. Draven and Ivern, terrible combo. Sivir and fucking Ivern, terrible combo.
Probably. Yeah.
Ashe is actually quite good. Ashe is quite good. Xayah is just a good champion. Not really anything special with Ivern. I also think MF is quite good. You need an AD with some lane presence, right? So that's what I would say. I would also say you've seen the Jhin with Ivern. Daisy can proc the Jhin W, can really help with his fourth shot, things like that. I think the Jhin is really good, and the Zeri obviously is really good with the passive synergies. But Kalista and Ivern, get the hell out of here. What are you?
She can jump more.
Get the hell
Now,
out
in
of
the
here.
hypothetical case that your ADC is a useless bonobo, then you might want to consider roaming
Also, the only argument for Lucian Ivern is if you're going to go Hail of Blades and be aggressive, or if you don't want the enemy team to pick Lucian, because Lucian shits all over Ivern.
from time to time.
True.
So let's talk about that now. You might not believe me, but at one point, Ivern was actually a jungler. I know, crazy,
Peeling, you have S+? That's too high. But it is good.
right?
I
But
could see
even
that.
then,
I feel
your
like
passive
for like an
somehow
off-meta
interacts with a
support,
jungle mon-
Right? He
it's
has...
like
He, like, his early levels, his cooldown scaling isn't that good. So, like, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to have the CDR required to peel effectively. Like, his Q cooldown is much higher than majority of other cooldowns. So.
monsters, but I'm pretty sure
I
that's
see, I
forgotten
see.
knowledge at this point.
But his shield cooldown
Although,
is actually
joking
quite good.
aside, I will quickly
Yeah.
mention if anyone
Like for context, Ivern's shield cooldown it scales faster than Janna's, has more AP scaling than Janna's, and pops for a slow when Janna's doesn't. Like, Ivern's shield is one of the best shields in the game. Ivern's Q is, while it's good, has one of the longest cooldowns in the game.
takes
So
blue or red buff post
True.
level 5, then you
Like,
get that buff as
non-ultimate,
well
obviously.
if you walk towards it. Not bad. Now, considering that they thought of Ivern as a jungler, that must mean his roaming must be pretty decent, right? Well, it is. If you can hit a root on someone, it almost always
Well,
will be a
it
blown
is.
flash or a kill, and your
You're such a
early shielding
YouTuber.
plus slows
This
makes you
guy's
such
such a
good scrapper,
YouTuber, chat.
especially post level 6, as Daisy wants to enter the fray and bop some people herself. For roaming, I will give Ivern a S-. It's It's a bit tricky to land
Nice.
the root,
I
and if
agree.
you do miss it, the play will be over, so watch out for that. It's time to rate Ivern's ability to support.
He's
in
like a
the
mini
game,
bard.
which
You
will
can
slot
also
at an
go
A+ rating.
you
It's
can go
pretty
Mobies and
decent, and my
perma roam
stats
with
from the
smite.
4 games I tried him out
Yeah.
shows that. In pre-10 minutes, I averaged 3 kills and assists, had 0 deaths, and a 100% dual win rate. Now this is such a low sample
Chat,
size.
why are his
and against
stats better
better
than mine?
opponents,
Help.
I can imagine Ivern would
Help.
struggle with his low mobility. and
Chat,
hard to
help.
land
Gotta
roots,
play him
so
support.
keep him
Chat,
for
help.
A+
I'm
rating.
a support
But
main
in
now.
matchups where you feel confident, I totally think you could whip out the Ivern support, as I think he only gets better as the game progresses. So let's talk about that now.
Potatoes are always watching.
Chat, you guys have convinced me. After this game, I'm gonna get onto my my gold account and I'm gonna just play Ivern support perma roaming with smite.
In the late
I
game,
like it.
responsibilities of a support I like to rate include their ability to get picks and to team fight. Ivern is pretty good at getting picks because he has plenty of hard CC with his Q and Daisy's knockup, plus slows and shielding from his E, which will prevent your allies from dying in return. I'll give him an A+ for getting picks, as you don't have a mobility steroid to help you get around the map, and if you missed your Q, they can just run away. Now let's talk about team
Unless you build Shirelli's, chat, which is one of the best Ivern support mythics you
I
can
didn't
buy.
think about that.
fighting, where a support's responsibilities include engaging, peeling, and sometimes dealing damage. Ivern should not be the primary engager, and if that's what you need for your comp, he
Ooh, very astute. Very astute. You actually got that one right.
isn't the answer. But even though it's not his strength, he isn't too bad as an
Student of the
enabler for
game.
others. If you can land your Q, then your teammates get a free gap closer
Let's
to better engage, which
go.
of course includes Daisy,
Graves is
whose
balanced.
AoE knockup is so good in team fights. For engaging, I will give Ivern an A-. It's not too great, but it is passable if your team is really ahead and you just want to flash Q in to get things started.
What's the
As
scale,
Ivern's
by the way? Is it
So-
S plus to D? Is that what it is?
So it's S to F, and S is like as good as meta champions.
Oh.
A is like almost as good,
All right.
and then
Okay.
B is
What
like
you want
it's
to be
not bad,
concentrating on in
stuff
a
like
team
that.
fight is peeling,
Sure.
because he is so good at it.
I'd probably
Outside of
give
maybe
engaging a
Renata,
B,
he's the
but
only champion that I can think
it's
of
fine.
that gives
That's
his
fair.
allies a shield that can also slow enemies when it expires. With Moonstone Renewer, your shields will be absolutely massive, and if you can keep granting them to people,
except for they nerfed
nerfed
them.
Yeah.
Woo!
This was filmed before.
True, of course.
Also help you peel, as she meanders towards enemies and knocks them up every third auto, which is great for peeling those bruisers and tanks trying to go in. For peeling in the late game, Ivern gets nothing less than a S+. Time and time again, I was able to save my allies with critical shielding and CC to really swing the fight in our favor and made playing Ivern a ton of fun. While Ivern isn't meant to be doing a ton of damage, he actually deals a fair amount with Daisy and his E shield exploding on people. You can find some opportunities to pick people off from time to time, and because Daisy and E are AoE spells, I will give Ivern a C for dealing damage as a support. It's definitely noticeable, but it's definitely not game changing. Before we look at Ivern,
See, and I would say I would give Ivern a B for dealing damage. His AP scalings are very good, even with support
to
items.
support, let's take a look at the runes and items that I would recommend. I'll be honest. I
As
can
far
see three
as
runes working out
comparing
for
to
Ivern, and it's
other
going to come
support?
down to your personal
Yeah,
choice and
I can
preference.
see that.
I started off by taking Airy to buff my shielding and auto poke, and I think this is a pretty good option against melee supports you think you can auto for free. The next rune I tried out was Glacial.
Wait, let's go back. Let's go back and read this. So I would say if you're in the support role, you don't really need biscuits. I personally wouldn't.
My argument for biscuits, I'm gonna say it real quickly. So like I've had this debate with myself a lot. Is like, should I take biscuits or not? But if you're playing like a champion you're not the best at, biscuits can kind of help you like cheat a little bit, where you can like survive a little bit longer
Right,
than
but
you
I
normally
mean,
might.
you're making a YouTube video. I mean, you gotta pretend you're the best. Okay, so
No,
let so
I'm not delusional.
so,
you see?
oh, are you the first person on the internet who's not delusional?
Yeah, and especially because
What
like the people
the
I'm
hell?
telling to try out playing Ivern support, I don't think they're gonna be the best at Ivern. So maybe they can also use biscuit delivery. And this was also when Time Warp Tonic was really like broken, where you could like you
Alright,
like pop
alright.
biscuit delivery and it gave you like a bunch of health.
I
I'm just saying.
I accept.
Would
if-
you take Futures Market now though? Like if you were better at Ivern, or
No. If I'm against a poke champion, maybe I could consider biscuits if I think I'm gonna get washed in the lane. But in general, you want to take the resolve tree second.
the shielding one?
You want, if you're Ivern support, you definitely don't want Gathering Storm. First
The
of
thing
all.
with I just think Scorch is so bad sometimes that.
No, you don't take Scorch. Are you crazy?
Wait, what's the middle one? Is it the?
You take Water Walking. This
Uh,
guy has never played Ivern in his life. Come on, chat.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
No, don't even start with me. You take Water Walking all day, all night.
I don't know. I kind of like Gathering Storm because the games can go on pretty long sometimes.
No. You take you. These ones are fine. You take
Yeah.
Water Walking. You switch this to Resolve Tree. You take Font of Life, and you take Revitalize. Is that what it's called? Yeah,
No, is that the shielding one?
You take Font of Life and Revitalize. That's what you
All
take.
right, all right.
Yeah, the one that gives you what is 5% heal and shield.
Yeah, I think so.
If you're the support, that's what you
Auto
do.
poke. And I think this is a pretty good option against
If you're taking Summonary.
supports you think you can.
Wait, Mossy, what are your thoughts on playing with Seraphine as Ivern? I think playing with Seraphine as Ivern is very, very good. You have shielding synergies, and Seraphine is like kind of a jack of all trades, really, really good champ. Like, I don't know why more people don't play her. She has all the support utility that you need, all the CC. She has like a game-changing ult, and she does as much damage as a mid laner. So I personally really like playing with Seraphine. If I'm the jungler and Seraphine is the support, I am A-okay with that. I would prefer Seraphine mid and an engaged support, however.
You can auto for free. The next rune I tried out was Glacial to enhance my engage, and it honestly felt pretty nice watching multiple people get slowed.
Oh, now he takes the right secondary
runes.
runes.
To go in on you and reducing their damage. Might not always be
If you're taking Glacial, then you should take Biscuits. I like this a lot better.
the ideal choice, but I liked it a lot.
One thing you could do is switch Time Warp Tonic for Cosmic Insight, but that's
Yeah, I do that now that Time Warp Tonic was nerfed.
if you want more flashes, more smites.
Yeah.
Then the final option that
Or
I think has
exhausts or
potential
whatever
is
you have.
Guardian. If you think you are in a rather difficult lane and want to increase your chance of surviving, this is a great option. For your gold income item, I'd go Spell Thief's Edge into a melee support you think you can poke. But more often than not, just go for Relic Shield. Then you want to go for your boots.
That's not necessarily true. Not necessarily true. Not necessarily true. I actually think Spell Thief's Edge is much better than the other one. If you're in a really hard poke lane, you can take this yellow one. I can't remember its name.
Relic Shield. I don't know what the upgraded one is
Yeah,
called.
you can
No
take a
one
Relic
knows.
Shield if you're in a poke lane. But Spell Thief's Edge is in general a lot better because it scales your shield, scales your poke, your autos, and
True.
it just scales all of your damage. And over the course of the game, you get it relatively quickly, just through your autos and through your roams and stuff. I much prefer Spell Thief's Edge. I think it's just better overall for Ivern, especially late game. So I would if you can survive the lane with Spell Thief's Edge, it's the better option. If you don't feel like you can survive the lane, take Relic Shield.
Where Ionian Boots of Lucidity are amazing. Lowering your E cooldown is critical when playing Ivern, as you want to be able to spam this out as much as possible. In terms of Mythic, I ended up going for the same one every game, Moonstone Renewer. I think this is the best option, as the Mythic passive enhances your shielding the most. This will in turn also enhance your Glacial, by the way, if you choose to go for that. For the rest of the build, you want to go for situational enchanter items that you think will help you out the most. Want an item that boosts your shielding and gives you an active heal? Go for Redemption. Have a hyper carry that wants a lot of attack speed? Ardent Sensor isn't bad. Enemy has a ton of healing? Chemtech
Ardent Sensor is bad.
Putrefier will help shut that down.
It's just a bad
No
item,
matter
isn't
where
it?
Ivern is played,
Yep,
he
it's
usually
dog
ends
shit.
up buying enchanter
It's so
items,
sad.
and while you may have a few less than normal, they're so cheap that it won't be a ton less. Now that we've talked about the runes and items, let's give Ivern an overall rating for his ability to support, which I'll slot at an A+ rating. I truly think Ivern is so close to being an actual meta support, and I think with the right team he could be a triflex between jungle, mid, and support. His kit greatly enhances those melee members on your team, which is why he normally isn't played in the bot lane, but it turns out he isn't too bad at keeping ADCs alive either. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would leave it a like,
that's
that would
pretty
be
much it.
amazing. And if you'd consider subscribing, that would make my day. Again, thanks for watching, and I want to wish you good luck and have fun if you're playing Ivern Support. You will probably need it.
Nice. Really cool. Really cool.
Again, thanks for watching.
So let's go back to your overall thoughts. Overall thoughts, you gave an A+ on a scale of S+ to F.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say I think an A+ is too high. I think you've overrated getting picks and peeling. On the scale you've presented, I would probably go A-, not A+ or B+. The lack of having a passive that you can use in lane hurts him a lot. Think of all the other passives in the game. Lux gets bonus damage on her auto attacks, right? Leona has sunlight damage. Like there's damage in passives, there's survivability in passives, there's all of these different things in passives, and Ivern has, hey, go mark a camp and it'll almost murder you, right?
Yeah.
So I think that really hurts him. But it's what we've been talking about. Wait till 6 and definitely you can all in. You should probably wait for your jungler. Now you said you think Moonstone Renewer is the best. I would say I think Moonstone Renewer is maybe the best super late game, but I think right now your best bet is to try and just do a full roaming style of Ivern Support. So I think because the 2v2 is so hard and snowballing is such a big thing, as well as the fact that not a lot of AD carries, there's a lot of survivability with AD carries now. Like you don't have to babysit them as much. And it's much more important to be at that first Herald fight. It's much more important to roam mid to get your stronger, your stronger team members ahead. So the thing is, like, your jungler and your top laner and your mid laner are probably going to be doing all the early damage for you, securing drags, all of that stuff. And then your AD carry is going to come along at the end, right? So if you're able to impact the map, you're going to have a lot more success than if you're able to impact the lane. So here's...
I would say this was before they like nerfed Moonstone like twice. Because I think before it was insane, I feel like, for like a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. What's that other item? The one that gives you movement speed?
It's Shirelli's.
Shirelia's Battle Stun, right?
So I'm going to show you something here.
Okay.
If I can. So this guy's name is STYLLEELOL. So this is a challenger level Ivern support player who on this patch you're going to see is building Summon Airy with Resolve Tree second. He has built Battle Song every game.
I do not blame him. I definitely think.
So clearly he has given up on Moonstone here in the support role, and he's building, he's got the Shard of True Ice because it gives AP and it gives mana regen and things like that. This is the support item, right?
Yeah.
He's basically building Shirelli's and Staff of Flowing Water.
It's interesting he's building Staff of Flowing Water with like no AP on his team except like one champion sometimes.
Right.
It's curious to me.
But think about what Staff of Flowing Water does, right? It gives you heal and shield power.
True.
And it gives you AP. It gives it gives you AP and the person you're shielding AP. So it's like a dual use. And that
it
in
goes
its
up to 95.
Yes, and it scales into the late game. So that in itself is better than anything that Ardent is ever going to offer you. So it's even if you only have one Vel'Koz on your team, like in this game, it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
Because in order for them to win this game, you're the support. You're probably not going to be close enough to be shielding the Graves and the Wukong very much. You're probably going to be on peel duty for the Vel'Koz and the Twitch. So who are you going to be shielding the most? Vel'Koz and Twitch, right?
Yeah, and Twitch could use it actually.
And I mean, Twitch can use it, doesn't need to use it. It doesn't really matter, right? But so you'll notice that this type of build is what he's running every single game. And and look, he's running Smite every game. Every game he's running Smite.
Yeah. I feel like if the enemy team sees that, they should just protect their buffs. Like it should be pretty obvious what he's going to do. That's what is interesting to me, because when you load into the game, you can see he has Smite.
Right. Chat has a really good point. If you have one AP champ on your team, your Staff of Flowing Water is always benefiting at least 2 people on your team, which is enough for the item to be worth buying. Chemtech Putrefier, You need the Grievous. It's very good buy. He loves the if you run Shirelles, you have the speed of the shield when you shield your ally, so you don't need mobility boots. You can get more haste, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably the best way to play Ivern. I'll show you exactly what he does. So he's gonna buy the Hail Blade, which is the smite item. He's gonna buy the Hail Blade. He's gonna go and smite a buff away. Then he's gonna base at like 3 minutes, 5 minutes on his first back. He's going to sell his jungle item and buy the Spell Thief's Edge and build it into the battle song. So just because you need to hit level 2 on your invade, or it's not worth.
He actually gets the support item at minute 5. That's interesting.
Yeah, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to run to the opposite buff of the jungler, smite it, get level 2. You're going to miss one wave on the bot lane, but you should be back in time for the second wave. Then you have to lane. You have to lane a little bit, right? Protect your AD, whatever. Typically, you want to tell your AD carry to let the wave push in.
Yeah.
So that you have decent positioning. They're not going to be like 2v1ing in the middle of the lane and like dying.
Yeah.
Right? Like let them push in, play it safe. It's all good. And then on your first back, minute 4, minute 5, minute 6, whatever it is, go back, grab the Spell Thief's Edge. There's never a world you're not going to stack it. So
True.
You don't need it the first minute. He's good enough at playing the game where he knows he's going to stack it anyway.
Yeah.
Right? He's good enough at playing. He knows he's going to get those autos in. He knows he's going to be able to stack it effectively, especially if he's roaming, especially you build Shirelles to roam, right? This helps your team engage if you're lacking engage. And you have enough survivability and enough shields and enough durability that you don't really need Moonstone all that much if you're playing the game appropriately, right? So
yeah,
that's what I would say. That's what I would say with that. So it's really hard to run things like Night Harvester or Everfrost or whatever.
Yeah,
you can still run Everfrost because it's like 2,800. I think it's a little bit cheaper than the other ones. But you can't really pull off an AP Ivern in the support build role.
The problem with the support role is you get gold from your support item, and then you don't get gold ever again.
Right.
So you can only afford like 2 items.
Burnfold asks if there would ever be any point to buy Morello over Chemtech Putrifier. No, Burnfold. There's never any reason you would want to spend more money on the Grievous Wounds. You're only buying this for the Grievous Wounds, the ability power, and that. This you have 20 haste on it. You always want the cheapest item you can.
Which is nice that all of his items are pretty cheap.
yeah, exactly. So I think that's kind of my overall thoughts on Ivern Support. I think it's really good if executed properly. A little bit difficult for newer players to pull off, and kind of a niche strategy, right? You need
what would you like consider it like as an off meta pick? Like how do you think it's one of the better off meta picks, or?
I think it's one of the better off meta picks and one of the better roles for Ivern. For Ivern, I think mid is his best role right now. Support is his second best role, and then jungle.
You actually believe that?
I actually think support's his second best role.
That's crazy.
I think he's not. I think he's B max tier in jungle right now.
Yeah, I would honestly
maybe less.
think that too, but I didn't want to like say it. It's just kind of sad that in jungle he just gets like clapped.
You can definitely say it. The problem is there's some matchups in support role where
for sure
it's really difficult. So it's a little bit better to if you're like counter picking it. I think it's a little bit better.
It's definitely not a first pick in my opinion.
No, you can't first pick it, right? Like you're gonna have trouble into Nautilus. You're gonna have trouble into Leona, stuff like that, right? So it's
true.
If you want a straight up assassin or straight up enchanter versus enchanter, you're probably gonna come out ahead on that. Ivern's like one of the best enchanters, so
good with like a bunch of melee champions on your team.
Right. You know, like when you pick Ivern anywhere, your team has to understand that if you don't pick champs good with Ivern, it's a 4v5.
Yeah.
You are a ward. You are a paperweight, right?
You are a free flash.
If you can't take advantage of Ivern's synergies, you are really, really, really limited in what you can do. So if you pick all ranged carries with Ivern, like you're
Yeah,
just
Kindred,
you're just
Jungle, Action top.
you're just asking to lose, right? So I want to thank Borax the Mighty for coming onto the stream here.
I want to thank you so much, Mossy, for having me.
Hey, no problem, no problem. I hope you had a lot of fun. If
I did. I learned a lot about Ivern, I feel.
Scuttles, you're a gentle crab and a